Hey guys, it's Mickh H from ARM Clan, and in today's video I'll talk about assault gear and weapons recommendation. So, starting with weapons that I do recommend for CQC engagements. Really, choice comes down to F2K Sprintelser or F2K SV War, which is practically the same as Mode Master version set up correctly. With long barrel, extended magazine, muzzle brake, grip, open reflex, laser designator. I already mentioned why I'm using open reflex on all my weapons besides sniper rifles in previous video regarding specialists, so I will not talk about it now. Firstly, I will talk about Sprintle Cell because it's like my favorite weapon of choice for CQC when it comes to assault. What I like about this weapon. Let me see, where is it? Okay, I found it. Well, as you can see, it has a huge amount of accuracy. It's 88, so yeah, it's gonna result in very tight spread, very accurate, full auto mode, even more accurate single shots. 800 fire rate. It's a good fire rate. I mean, it's still very effective in CQC and you can do a lot of damage. I think DPS is below 600, but it's still high enough. Uh, like I said, good things about this weapon: tight spread, high fire rate, huge accuracy. Well, and this is a tricky thing: low control. Um, to be sure that you can use this weapon to its maximum potential, you have to be able to play at 60 frame rates per second. Simply because high frame rates provide you better tracking and it's easier to control recoil on every weapon, not just on this weapon. But additional to high constant frame rate, you need a decent gaming mouse set up properly. I mean, low DPI and just so you can have the good handling of your mouse. It's just going to increase your control in over any weapon in this game. A decent mousepad, of course, so there is no, you are not losing your tracking in any way. Yeah, so it's what I think it's the best weapon for me at least in CQC. What do I recommend for most of people is, like I said, the Mode Master with grip, long barrel, muzzle brake, extended magazine, and open reflex. It's the most versatile weapon for assault. It is much easier to handle this weapon than Sprinter Cell because of the higher control. It still has a
User joined your channel.
high amount of accuracy, huge fire rate, 33 damage per shot, so it's close to 600 DPS. And you can still do some damage on distances over 60 meters, but unlike Sprinter Cell, it's less accurate behind the cover because of the grip. Grip is going to decrease your accuracy behind the cover. It's also going to be less accurate when shooting without cover, simply because of the lower accuracy. But like I said, it should be easier to control than Sprinter Cell. So it's definitely a good weapon and probably a weapon that is going to suit most of you. For long range engagements, most of the time I am using Mark 17, modded this way with long barrel, extended magazine, muzzle brake, open reflex, laser designator. Why open reflex on SV weapon? Well, I mentioned it already in a specialist video, but it's simply because I still won't be able to be somehow competitive with SV weapon in CQC situations, and that's where open reflex is really handy. And beside that, I am still able to be very accurate with this sight on
User
distances
joined your
over
channel.
60 meters, even up to 120
User
meters.
left
I
your
don't
channel.
have any problems even with counter sniping using open reflex. And this weapon is really designed for on longer distances for using single shot, and single shot with this weapon is absolutely lethal. If you are going for headshots, it's just 2 headshots and anything is dead pretty much. In CQC, well, obviously because of the bipod, it's gonna be pretty hard to control, and yes, and lower fire rate. With every weapon with low fire rate is gonna be harder to control than the one with a higher fire rate in this game. So yeah, it takes practice to control this weapon in CQC, but you can still do just fine in CQC. Of course, if you are not caught on the ready time, because then nothing will help you, obviously. Yes, so definitely I recommend this weapon for long range engagements, and I think it's the best way to go, since you are still able to pop shoot, unlike with the AK-12C, which is horrible weapon when it comes to pop shooting. It's still able to do follow-up shots very accurately. So yeah, this is what I like about this weapon, and I recommend it for a long range. Third weapon that you might also consider, and it's also a pretty nice all-rounder, is F2K modded with bipod, muzzle brake, wrong barrel, extended magazine, open reflex, and laser designator. Um, for me, it feels like improved AR-21SV if you ever used one, just with a higher fire rate, a little bit higher damage, the same accuracy, and maybe lower control, but DPS is much higher, which is pretty nice because you will often find yourself in CQC situations, and yeah, and you'll be still able to be competitive there with that kind of fire rate and DPS. So yeah, it's like something. It's not like Mark 17 SV only for mid to long range, but it's also good in CQC, and it really excels at mid range when doing follow-up shots. It's really like a laser gun, like where this weapon might be very useful. For example, on Peshawar C point, when you're sitting on top and just pop shooting very fast and killing anyone that is picking at the time. So yes, this weapon, it's like in between F2K with grip and Mark 17 SV. What I also have is F2KC, which is useful, like useless, like every weapon with a short barrel in this game. Maybe apart from AK-12C. Yeah, but okay, let's go to AK-12C. Um, I don't like this weapon really. It it has a huge amount of damage for assault rifle. It's 50 damage per shot, which is very high damage for assault rifle. Decent fire rate, somehow above 700. Decent accuracy, I would say, 78, and very low control. So what I don't like about this weapon, it's terrible for pump shooting. I mean, picking very fast out of cover and going full auto. It's just terrible at it. It's very inaccurate when going full auto without cover. So yeah, it's like spray and pray gun. It has a not that high fire rate for assault rifle, which is gonna result in worse performance in CQC and worse handling. Uh, what I like about this weapon, it's extended magazine. It's yeah, of course, it's handy 60 bullets. It's a very nice thing to have. But like I said, compared to F2K in any variant, this weapon is just worse. For me, this weapon has no place in competitive gameplay style. So yeah, maybe there are people that are liking this weapon, but honestly, they are not in my clan, and I don't know that many of them. Most of players I met in Clan Wars and in my clan, uh, that are on a high skill level, they are using either F2K or Mark 17. So yeah, forget AK-12. The only situation we have to buy this weapon is when you are, like aiming for a higher tier when they are going to release new weapons. Then you will have to buy it anyway. AK-12 SV, long barrel bipod, extended magazine, fixed stock. It's just worse than Mark 17 SV. So yeah, like I don't see any purpose for this weapon really. Honestly, I bought Arctic version a long time ago, and I honestly regret this decision. What's next? What do we have here? F2K SV War. It's practically, apart from camouflage, it's practically the same as Mode Master version, so it's not even worth mentioning. Mm, yes. Now, when it comes to armor, like you can see, I'm using the same setup as on my specialist: 158 health, 7 anti-quit, 2.5, 2.4 regen, 4.6 toughness. Yeah, I believe it to be the best blend between, increased HP, anti-crit, health regen, and toughness. For me, I prefer to have additional regen instead of, for example, additional HP or anti-crit, simply because I'm using combat regen, which stuck with those inserts, it's just crazy. Your HP is gonna regenerate at very high rate. I think 2.4, it's almost like maximum regen you can have in your inserts. So for me, it's all about, staying alive in game and doing as much damage as I can. And yeah, and when you're playing assault, you just have to hold your position. This is the most important thing. So this setup suits me very well. Mm, Pistol 45T, I believe it's the best pistol in this game. Anything that has 6 bullets is just useful, like Red Hawk or the other mutations of this that kind. Squad support. I am going after they change a few things when it comes to our weapons damage. I switched to combat regen because now people with magnum ammo, they're gonna do some crazy amount of damage to you. You're gonna die anyway, and it doesn't matter if you're gonna use hardened armor. Really, I mean, it's more about staying alive than short-term gain like hardened armor, and it's much more useful for your teammates. I'm using light tactical suit Mark 5 simply because I prefer to have mobility instead of little additional armor, which, like I mentioned before, is not crucial for me in this game in current state at least. Devices, yes, devices. Blitz, like the most popular device for assault, maybe because it can be used selfishly. I'm using it with a duration upgrade and speed upgrade. This is like most common upgrades for Blitz, and I believe it's the only way you can use your Blitz. Hit, of course, hit duration and range upgrade, nothing special. Everyone is using it, and it's very well settled standard for this class. I think, yeah, it's pretty much covers everything I can say about assault gear and weapons recommendation. If you have any additional questions regarding this video, feel free to leave your comments below, and I will answer your questions in the next episode. Okay, thank you guys for watching, and I hope that you find this material useful for yourself. Thank you very much.